So hey guys, it's your boy Vandal and I'm coming to you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about how to time manage. But before we get into this video, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button if you're new, hit that like button for more, and hit that bell for notifications when you want to hear things that this mouth has to say. So guys, it's been a long while. It's been about a month now that this thing has been going on in America. We've been dealing with having to stay at home, and one of the things that has been like a blessing and a curse with all of this is all of the time that we have. We have like hours and hours to think about how the world's going to end, or whether or not we're going to get toilet paper, or whether or not that Netflix show that we just finished last week will ever come back. I don't know. One of the things that I feel that could really help people is time management. Because I find myself personally finding that the days are just going by and I'm not going outside and I'm not as regimented as I used to be when I used to be able to go outside, because there's this whole effect of like when you're home, there's a different self when you're home, there's a different self when you're at work and various other places. But now everything is kind of like in one place for me. So that's a little bit hard to figure out who am I at what time and how to restructure things for my new normal. I really hate that word. But let's get into it. The first thing that we need to think about is, before we even think about time management, before we even think about doing anything, we need to do nothing. And if you've already been doing nothing like I have, then you're perfectly in this phase. This is what I call the chill out phase. This is where you relax, kick back, put on your shades. You get to chill out. You get to have a really good time. You get to just be yourself. And what you do during this time is basically, you're gonna make your own time. You're gonna have time for you. It is you time to do whatever it is that you like to do. What is your favorite things that you like to do when you're home? Because you have to be home, you can't go outside. I would say double down on those things that make you feel good and that you like to do for the time being. Next, we wanna look at our mental health. How is our mental health feeling? Like, how are we feeling mentally? Because it's draining not being around your friends, not being around certain family, maybe your significant other. There are a lot of things that can like really take away from just your mental state. Seeing everything on the news compiled on with the fact that you don't know when this will end. It's a lot. There's a lot that just like taxes you mentally, and it's really hard. Now that we understand like some things that relax us, some things that might be bothering us mentally, we should really indulge in the things that make us happy. But most of all, and something I've been like totally neglecting this last month, is sleep. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you're sleeping at least 8 hours, because you have no other place to go. Getting enough sleep, and also on top of that is eating healthy. Eating healthy, make sure you're not eating too much junk, especially the stuff that you might get from the supermarket. Even though that might be in your thing that might relax you or make you feel good, try and like eat as healthy as possible. And then within that, like getting adequate amounts of movement within your house, whether it's like walking around or trying to do some form of like low impact exercise, something to just get your body moving, because if you're staying at rest, it will add to those negative emotions. Once you start moving, you'll start producing all that good serotonin and melanin. Wait, melanin's for black people, but you know what I mean. And then, since we have all of this great and wonderful technology, FaceTiming your friends, that's the only way to actually contact your friends. Then there's also Zoom. Talk to your friends, connect with people that you might not have. The internet is there, or something that we might have taken a bit for granted in connecting with people, but this is a great time to just talk, check in with people, because lives are changing at a rate faster than you can imagine, and people's lives might be impacted, and you saying hi or checking in on them might be something that might brighten their day or help them just feel better. That's one of those things. But now, here comes the one point. This is the point where you have two choices. You have two choices where you can continue to chill and relax, and you can do that, and that's perfectly fine, because you're at least maintaining your eating, your mental health, your sleep pattern, and getting a little bit of movement. Base necessities, I think those are really, really, really important, and you can keep going that route, and that's great. Now, this is for those people who want something a little bit more, and this is where the time management comes in. The time management comes in when we want to figure out a few key things about ourselves. We've gotten bored or past the chill out phase where we're just relaxing and just trying to keep that, which is important as people who are trying to like focus more on time management. We should keep that there because that's very important, or else we'll go the route of burnout, and we don't want that. The route of burnout. Bars. So one of the things that's very important in your time management, to understand what we want to do in a schedule, we need to figure out what it is that we like to do, what are some things that we might have not thought of before that might be really important to us now. So just jotting them down. They could be anything: learning to ride a bike, learning to, I guess, crochet, learning to cook something. Very simple things. Could be anything. What do you love to do? What inspires you? That will give you like even more like depth to the things that you want to do, and maybe a reason behind why you want to do them. And then in the beginning of the year, some of you might have made like New Year's resolutions and they totally got derailed. I will not lie to you, I'm one of those people that it got derailed. It was just a whole heap of mess. I've been like falling off on certain things, but I'm making this time management video as something for myself and for you guys to remember that we can bring back those things that we wanted to do in the beginning of the year. Maybe we can scale them down. I talked about that in another video, but we can scale them down and we can still do them just at a lighter pace, but it'll just take us a longer time to get to our destination. But what that also does is it opens up new things that we can also do and include. And then once we figure out like what our new adjusted goal list is of new passions mixed with old passions, how can we accomplish it? And that's where the schedule comes in. So what you want to think about is, once you have that list, figure out what's the most important thing to you. Start with the most important and go all the way down to the least. Doesn't matter how long your list is, as long as you can rank your importance, because that's gonna come really in handy once we need to start scheduling our things that we wanna do. So now we know what we want. It's time. We're in this. So we know what we want, we know what we wanna do, but the problem is we need to put it in something that is in a list form of our day, and I think that is called a what? A schedule, duh. That's why we're watching this video. So it's a schedule that we wanna make. Schedules are very important because they help keep us organized, they help keep us focused, they help keep us regimented, and they allow us to move throughout our day with purpose, so we're not thinking about what's the next thing that we have to do or something that we didn't do enough of. Now, in creating your schedule, you have to be very deliberate. Your schedule needs to do just enough, but not too much. What do I mean by that? If you do too much in your schedule, for example, if you had a schedule of just starting from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. like I have, I'll probably put it up somewhere or put a picture somewhere of it. One of the things that'll tend to happen is, for that whole day, if you do everything that was on your list, for example, unless you maybe had one thing, then you're really good. But if you have a lot of things, they'll all be bunched up and you won't get any of it done. Why won't you get any of it done? One, because there's only so many hours in the day, and one of the most important things, like we talked about in the first part, was talking about making breaks, the first part was talking about was like chill out time. Chill out time is really important because we need breaks to just compress, really reevaluate, or just relax after we've done something. Because when you go from one thing to the other thing to the other thing, you'll find that you are just burnt out at the end and you won't be able to do anything on your list. And that's what the important part of our whole goal on this channel is, to make things sustainable. And this is the best example of it, because this crisis is something that could be going on forever or end tomorrow. But one of the most important things is all of our goals need not stop just because that's happening. We just need to readjust and take it really slowly, because it's not about intensity, it's about our consistency towards those goals. Don't forget that, y'all. That's the most important thing. Even I forgot that. So it's just a good reminder that we can just go back and do that. So with that said, remember, keeping breaks inside of your schedule is very important. Figuring out like what you want to do one day. Maybe you do one thing one day and then you do another thing the next day and then you do another thing the next day. But make sure after each period of time there's maybe like an hour break, maybe 30-minute break, whatever you feel comfortable with, but don't make it too long, because it might allow you to go back into the chill out phase for a little bit too long. And we want to do that because we got our headbands on and we want to stay smart. One of the most important things that I always say, for example, we all started our schedules maybe in January, or our goals in January. Start today. if you see this video, start today and think about and understand, or think about making your list today for the next week going on till forever. Take some time to think about the things that you love to do, want to get good at, or want to improve at, or whatever it is. Write that down today and start scheduling it and slowly feeding that into your schedule and change as you go. Your schedule is not stagnant and things need to change as you change, because that's very important, because if you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, then something's not working. One of the important parts to this is also measuring like how much we're doing of each goal, like figuring out and tracking it. The good habit tracker that I talked about in the first vlog, I think I'll put it up on the screen over here, will tell you a little bit more about like how to track your habits, but it's good to track and see how you're growing and getting better at the things you're doing or doing more of them, so you can feel like you're actually doing something. Helping to do that also, maybe if you don't have an app or connect to the internet, is you can just make a to-do list, and just ticking it off will make you feel just as good. And then the last part about your schedule, when thinking about breaks, right? We also want to think about how much time we want to give to the thing that we're doing, because we only have so much time in the day. And like I said before, in the chill out phase, I would say sleep is one of the most important things to not forget as we go forward in our everyday like scheduling routine. So built-in sleep, built-in break times, allotted times for the things that we want to do, but making sure we don't do too much. Giving ourselves breaks, very important. I'm going to stress that throughout the whole video. But basically that's it. Just looking at like how we allot our time, figuring out how much to put for each of it, breaks, making sure that we're relaxing are all good parts of time management. So let's go over it again. So making a list of our passions, figuring out which ones are our top priorities in a list, making out our schedule today. It's okay if it changes over time. Figuring out how much time to give to each thing that we want. Figuring out how our breaks fit into that, how our sleep fits into that, and how even eating fits into that. Don't forget to eat, y'all. I know some of y'all forget. Those are some of the like maybe 8 things I have. 8 things that can help you better time manage or figure out how to do your time better. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. And if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to hit that like button, because you made it all the way to the end of this video and you're amazing. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new, if you forgot to in the beginning. And don't hesitate to hit that notification bell, because that's the thing you have to do when you have to want to hear the things that I have to say. But yeah, guys, I'm Vandal, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Bandana out. Bye!